So in these 4 years plus 3 years, 7 years, what kept you going? Because really, either I'm watching and saying, I don't think I'm going to keep going, or I'll have team members that I'm seeing, boy, they're getting closer and closer to what they need, but they're quitting. How do I help them not quit?
And that's a great question, because when I hear that now in our business, people talking about, oh, so-and-so might quit, they're not happy or whatever, they often focus on talking to them about their dream and talking about, you know, huge, great flash cars or houses or anything else, when perhaps they might have been like me, where I was actually driven by fear. I was driven by the fear of what life would be like in conventional employment in 40, 50 hours a week for 40, 50 years of my life. I was driven by fear of not being able to help my family or to travel or to be able to say yes when I want to. So it was that kept me going. And so perhaps I think it's, you know, important for people to identify maybe your team member is driven by what they don't want.
That's a leadership principle, I'm sure, in itself. Is that, you know, for me, it was the same. For Julie, she's right there taking pictures. And when she was little, I had to get food stamps for buying milk for her. And that dread of being homeless, even to the degree of homeless, that it could disappear, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So it's an interesting motivator to get through that. And would you say that that was more of a motivator than the desire to have 40 vacations or holidays a year?
It's almost like your perspective created to where quit to what? Like, he's thinking about quitting. To what? Once you've identified, once you walk through your own thinking and realize that if I continue down path A, I'm not going to accomplish the things, the model that I see for my life. And once that decision's made, you make that decision once and you don't have to revisit that. Like, quitting really is wiped off the table because you've already recognized that path A, if plan A is not the path you're going to take, and plan B is a path that'll get you there, whether plan B is a tough path or it wasn't comfortable really is not relevant anymore. What's relevant is, will plan B take you to where you want to go? And if it does, then the only question is, do you hate losing enough to change, or do you hate changing enough to lose? And Wes, to his credit, he wasn't the guy. It took him 4 years to even break even. But in that process, I'm sure during those 4 years, there were many moments where you had to look in the mirror and say, Wes has got to change. And in the process of changing, that's why you see Wes today, the guy who can take 40 vacations a year, is because you recognize that you had to ask yourself, quit to what? And once you said, well, I'm not quitting back to plan A because I already been through that thought process and know plan A is not what I want to do long term. So I will then have to change on plan B rather than quit back to plan A.